Romeo, O Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. But if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Oh, young love. Hi everybody, this is Jennifer. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books, music, movies, and anything else that takes my fancy. This is ShakeTube Week 3, Romeo and Juliet. But wait, Jennifer, you might say, where is the video for Richard III? It is not coming. Sorry. I haven't finished it. So in order not to be really late with everything, I moved on to Romeo and Juliet. I might catch it up back at the end. I might not. Who knows? It's a free country and this is supposed to be, this is fun. Not like required. But I do have Romeo and Juliet for you today, and next week I will, provided, I can upload and all that, I will have Julius Caesar for you next week because Julius Caesar is my favorite Shakespeare play. Love it. Alright, so let's get started on Romeo and Juliet. Sorry, I actually had notes. Notes from my reading and notes from watching other people's videos. Excuse me. Yeah, so I had already read Romeo and Juliet. I read it my freshman year in high school, and so we read it, and then we watched the Zeffirelli movie version, which I remember liking it. It didn't captivate me or anything, but I liked it. If we're going to go into pop culture references, my favorite pop culture reference to Romeo and Juliet is in the first season of Daria. The Cafe Disaffecto episode, Kevin's bemoaning the fact that that they're reading Romeo and Juliet, and he's like, Shakespeare's a total chick writer. And I thought that was funny. And then they go, and he's asking why he should like Shakespeare, and everybody tells him, well, Hamlet has a skull in it. And then at the end, Brittany memorizes that scene that I just did in the intro, and she, instead of saying Capulet, she's like, I'll no longer be a Capulet. Anyway. So I kind of like that. A couple of themes I saw running through here was, well, there's a tension between opposites, because one of the first things I learned about studying this play in high school is the whole oxymoron, the whole parting is such sweet sorrow, and you see a lot of opposites paired up here about how love brings about death, and then death brings about love between the families. Anyway, it's something I saw and I haven't seen it mentioned, so I thought I would mention it because I was looking for that throughout. There's also a lot of stuff where there's tension between what your family wants of you, and especially on Juliet's part, and what you want as a person, and how that sometimes does not, especially back then, did not end up well, especially for women who were pretty much considered chattel. Anyway, not really, but close enough. Also, another thing that is really thick in this book is that really struck me is how teenagers now, you don't expect them to take on giant responsibilities. So when they do, it's like, oh, these teenagers came up with a cure for this and this and this, and you're like, oh my God, it's astonishing. And back then, it's going on and on. When we first meet Paris, he's talking to Juliet's dad, and he's like, well, she's only 13, let's wait a couple summers until she's 15, and then you can marry her. And that doesn't end up, he doesn't he doesn't end up holding to that. But then it's brought to his attention several times that many highborn women had been mothers by the time that was Juliet's age. So you get this idea that at their ages they're expected to be adults, but you still get all this teenage angst and melodrama. I mean, you know. Oh, that beep is telling me my coffee's ready. Yay! Anyway, so yeah, so you get this immaturity and this melodramatic, like, craziness from the teenagers, but they're expected to act like adults, even though Juliet's definitely 13 because it keeps going on about how she's not 14. And Romeo's, what, like 15-ish? And so you get a lot of the melodrama and the immaturity. Like Romeo, at the beginning, he's going on and on about how Rosalind, who decides to be chaste rather than get with Romeo, he's on and on about Rosalind, and then he either goes to his party, he either crashes the Capulet's party, and he sees Juliet, and suddenly it's like, oh my goodness, it's like, dude, 2 hours ago was Rosalind. Anyway, so yeah, those are my main notes about Romeo and Juliet. I actually quite liked it. Like I said, the story is not as deep and as gripping as some of his other stuff, especially like Hamlet and Julius Caesar, which are my two favorites. Julius Caesar is 1A and Hamlet is 1B. But it was still pretty good. I thought it was good. And yeah, and I just said good twice and now it's a third. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm really excited about next week, and I hope you like this video. If you have comments about Romeo and Juliet, please put them below. Also, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. People, bye.